Hey everybody, welcome to this Caregiver Coffee. My name is Matthew Estrad. I'm a gerontologist in St. Tammany Parish, and I've been bringing you the Caregiver Coffee since 20 sometime in 2020. So I'm glad to be um, joining you as we wrap up the year 2025. Today we're going to be talking about understanding the FAST scale. FAST stands for Functional Assessment Staging Scale. So it was developed by Dr. Barry Reisberg, and we will be going over this. This is, if you've not heard of it before, I think you're going to find it really interesting, and some of you may have heard it before, so this could be a review, or maybe we'll have some new comments for your education. So that's the FAST scale used for sort of staging or figuring out where someone is in their journey of dementia, whether it's Alzheimer's disease. It was developed for Alzheimer's disease, but it can be um, many times used for other ones. All right, so before we get into this topic of the FAST scale, we're going to talk a little bit about the caregiver support group. If you've seen our videos before, you know I do a little spiel, a little advertisement about the caregiver support groups and encourage you to consider joining us. So I have been facilitating this group since April of 2015, so over 10 years, and it's just been an incredible blessing to be with all the caregivers who have joined us over the years. We currently meet every Tuesday, basically every Tuesday of the year. If there's a fifth Tuesday, sometimes we don't meet. And if there's a holiday that falls on a Tuesday, like Mardi Gras, of course, or another one, we end up really just kind of moving that later in the week, typically on a Tuesday. I'm sorry, on a Thursday. And we meet from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And excuse me. And we sort of a pattern to how we meet because sometimes we meet in person and sometimes we meet remotely. So the first Tuesday of the month is in Slidell at the Senior Activity Center. So 6 to 7:30 p.m. They're all the same time. So we meet there at the center. The second Tuesday of the month, we meet via Zoom. I'm actually recording this on Zoom, so you kind of would see me as you're seeing this right now. And we'll talk more about the Zoom, how to join via Zoom in a moment. The third Tuesday of the month, we're in Covington at their Senior Activity Center on North 10th Street off of Highway 190. And then the fourth Tuesday of the month, and sometimes the fifth Tuesday, we are back on the Zoom platform. So a little bit about the Zoom platform. Many of y'all might be familiar with this from connecting with friends and loved ones or even using it for work. But it's basically video conferencing that is free. We provide a link that you can click on to join us either on your smartphone, on your computer, or your tablet. You can also choose to just join us like an audio conference, and there's a phone number available for that we have on our flyer. We send out reminders if you're on that private email list, which is free also. So, so consider joining the private email list. It's very easy. Excuse me, yawning. And by being on that list, you are able to get reminders every day that we have the support group, and you have all the information there. You have the dates, as well as you have access to the flyer that we publish every 2 months. So, oh, I did want to mention, even if you have a landline phone, you can join us. You're just punching in the numbers of the 800 number or the toll-free number, the meeting number, and the password. So it's pretty easy to do all that. So, and we have some people that join us only virtually. We have some people that only join us in person, and we have some folks that join us every week, no matter what modality, whether we're in person or virtual. So I hope that you'll consider doing that. Whether you've been a caregiver for many, many years, or whether you are just starting out on this journey, it's a wonderful thing to connect with other caregivers and to just kind of speak that common language and be with people who understand, who have been there and are currently there, and just kind of get it. So I think that's really important for not just education, but the fellowship and the connection is incredible. All right, so let's talk about the FAST scale. Again, this was developed by Dr. Barry Reisberg, and he's written many great articles and come up with many great theories. This FAST scale is something is used by hospitals, clinics, by hospice companies, in order to kind of figure out where someone is currently, so that they can also track that person and be able to tell by with a future assessment if they've stayed the same or declined. So I'm actually going to share my screen. Let me do that real quick. And I'll share the link to this website. All right, here we go. So I'm not sure if that's too small for you to read or how that's looking. Hopefully it's good. All right, so understanding the FAST scale for dementia. Some of the key takeaways that we'll cover: the FAST scale, it helps medical professionals diagnose and track the progression of Alzheimer's disease by assessing a person's ability to perform daily activities. This scale consists of 7 stages ranging from normal function to severe dementia, helping to monitor the disease's advancement and effectiveness in treatments. And the FAST scale can help to determine if a person who has advanced Alzheimer's qualifies for hospice care, typically when they reach 7C, indicating they need help with walking. So that will make more sense as we kind of go through the different areas. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so Dr. Reisberg, he created this in the 1980s. The purpose is to help diagnose and assess the progressive stages of Alzheimer's disease. By using this for regular checkups, the medical professionals can determine whether a person's dementia is consistent with Alzheimer's, measure the progressive stages of Alzheimer's over time, distinguish the various complications, monitor the effectiveness of treatments, and guide new approaches to treatment based on the progression of the disease. It is something that is specific to Alzheimer's. It may not apply to other dementia. So that corrects something that I said. So it is specifically for Alzheimer's disease, although I would say that it can still be helpful you're still looking at function, right? So the person can either do these things or not do these things. And there will be Alzheimer's or another type of dementia. So while not developed for Alzheimer's, I would say that it's going to be applicable in a sense. So it's a 16-item scale, meaning there's 16 different questions, and and it's divided into 7 stages and performing activities. So stage 1, typical adult, there's no increased difficulty performing various activities and functions. So you may be a 1 right now. Anybody who does not have any kind of manifestation of Alzheimer's or a dementia is probably typical adult. Stage 2, typical older adult, slightly increased difficulty performing various tasks, such as maybe misplacing objects or difficulties with work or even volunteering. Number 3, early dementia. The person experiences increased difficulty performing job tasks evident to coworkers and difficulty traveling to new locations. So it's starting to be apparent to other people. I didn't point this out before, but I will. The average duration is this column all the way on the right-hand side. Number 4, stage 4, mild dementia. There's an increased difficulty performing complex tasks, such as paying bills, preparing meals. Sometimes we call these instrumental activities of daily living. And then we'll later get into the activities of daily living, but these are instrumental, as they're called, the paying the bills, etc. Number 5, mid-stage dementia. The person requires assistance in choosing proper clothing. Number 6, now we're really starting to see some physical changes. This is where they're needing help with their ADLs or activities of daily living. Before it was instrumental activities of daily living, now it's the full ADLs. So increased difficulty in dressing, bathing, and using the toilet independently. And six, just like seven, is broken down into A through E, and seven is going to add another letter to it. So 6A, needing assistance getting dressed. 6B, they require help bathing properly. 6C, they could use support handling mechanics of toileting, such as flushing or wiping. 6D, they experience urinary incontinence or just not being able to make it to the bathroom. So they're going to they're voiding in their underwear or their adult diaper. And 6E is that they have fecal incontinence. All right. Now we're moving into severe dementia. The person experiences a reduction of speech, movement, and consciousness. At 7A, they have difficulty speaking. So that might be 1 to 5 words per day. So not many at all. 7B, they're having challenges using intelligible vocabulary. 7C, they need assistance walking. And this is where it indicated earlier the takeaways that 7C many times is sort of that marker for hospice care. Although it does not have to be, it's still a judgment call. It's still the clinical judgment of the prescribing physician as to that. But he or she is likely using this as part of their workup. 7D, they need help sitting up, or they require help sitting up. 7E, they have difficulty smiling. And 7F, they could use support. They could use support holding up their head. So, and here we'll kind of get into hospice. How does it apply? And again, what is hospice? We've talked about that on many caregiver coffees, and it's always a good time to define hospice as the type of medical care that focuses on comfort and quality of life for people with serious illness approaching the end of life. And typically, um, hospice is prescribed for someone by a physician or nurse practitioner or physician assistant when they believe that the person, that the patient in front of them has 6 months or so to live or less. So they could use this, especially surpassing the 7C, needing assistance walking independently. Benefits of hospice care: lowers the chance of hospitalization in the final 30 days of life, higher likelihood of receiving their daily treatment for pain, and greater satisfaction with care, which the person with Alzheimer's and the caregiver can experience. So, why is this an important scale to know about? Because it is going to help you sort of figure out with some accuracy where your loved one is based on what they can do and what they cannot do. And that helps sort of define things. And then later you can do that the next week or the next month, and you can compare it to the last rating to see, was there any decline? And that's wonderful if there's not any decline, but it's better than just a subjective, oh, I think they look worse, or I think they look the same, or I think they look better. This gives you some concrete evidence and some tracking that we always promote. Journaling and writing down things and putting down your observations so you can kind of see patterns over time. And this is certainly a tool that you can use for that. All right, so other thoughts on this. It can help you. Sometimes it gives peace of mind for people to be able to sort of um, define where they are, especially helping that patient, helping that family caregiver decide, should I ask about hospice for my loved one? When you know that you're at or close to the 7C where you cannot ambulate or walk, that should give you some confidence to talk with the doctor. Although you don't have to wait for this, you can just ask for their opinion. You don't have to wait for this scale, but sometimes a tool like this, a scale like this can help a family member, feel better, feel better about that. So, okay, all right. I think we'll leave it there. I'll put a link when I'm posting this on Facebook. We'll put a link to it to the article. We're not able to put links in YouTube on the channel for some reason, but you can see that it is Healthline, or you could see that before when I was sharing my screen. It's healthline.com. You can also Google fast scale, and it should pop up. There will be many resources, and it's a standard scale. So when you're going, even if you found a different website, it's going to present the scale as was created by Dr. Reisberg in the 80s. So I hope this is helpful for you. We had some caregivers actually bring this up in a recent virtual support group meeting. So that got me thinking about, well, maybe we can go over it in case there are folks out there let us find the folks who don't know about it, because I know that there must be people who don't know about the fast scale. So, but I hope that this is helpful. And remember, it was developed for Alzheimer's, but I encourage you to use it anyway for other types of dementia. At least it kind of helps guide how you are assessing and the progression of your loved one. So thank you so much for doing the hard work and the important work of being a caregiver. Thanks for hanging around for this whole video to gain some information. I hope that it was helpful, and if it was, I hope that you'll consider sharing this and telling other people about it. Whether you just tell them about the fast scale, or you send them this video, or you send them an article. Let's just educate ourselves and help educate our community. And and all aligned with the Council on Aging in St. Tammany and their mission to help people age in place and to age safely um, in the community and elsewhere. All right, y'all. Thanks again for being here, and I look forward to being on your screen sometime in the future on a different topic. If you ever have topics that you'd like to see, please let us know. Please let the Council on Aging in St. Tammany know they can get that word to me. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to you seeing me on your screen and me seeing you in the future. Bye for now.